Hello, welcome to this video. Today we have a host, which is Emmanuel.
Hi.
Okay, so now we're making a neural network. A neural network is something that, a neural network, you can have like a neural network to do something. So you're basically teaching a machine. You're teaching a machine. You're going to teach it, and then you have to train it.
Yep.
So we give it some data, we train it, and then we get the result.
Wait, Aiden.
Yeah?
I have a question.
Yes?
Like, how do you make the robot?
Like a robot.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what we are here for. So, let me just open a new window. Okay. So once we are here, we are going to go to Brainjs.org. That's the library we'll be using
today.
Yes. And for now, this can be done for browsers and Node.js. And Node.js is a runtime. It's a runtime for JavaScript. So if you want to run it locally without having to make an index.html and then an index.js, an app.js, or something like that, you can just run it locally by running using Node.js. And if you haven't installed Node.js, just go to Node.js, so Node.js.org. Okay, Node.js.org, and that is it. So that's Node.js.org here, and you can see this is the page. Now, if you'll be using this for a long time, you've been using this for quite a long time, download the LTS. But if you're only using it for this tutorial, download the current. I have the LTS, so make sure keep that in mind. Now at Brainjs, there's this handy documentation, and we're going to click get started now, and you can see you can use npm. So if you're using Node.js, you can type npm install --save brain.js. Some versions don't require the --save notation, but it just makes sure that you're not downloading, you're not making anything wrong, any changes. So we're going to use the CDN to make things a lot easier. Yeah, so let me just go cd into my required directory. Let's make a new project. mpdr children book.
Aiden.
Yeah.
I have
writer
a question.
Yeah.
Like in the last video.
Yes.
You used Brainjs another way.
Yeah.
That we had to sign in. So today I think we are going to not sign in, which means we are going to have like a big save of time.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes when you want to search for some packages, you normally go to npmjs.com.
Yeah.
Then after that, you have to sign in, and then you have to search for the package brain.js, like so. And then you click there and click.
You see, it's really
and then
hard.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, and then you have to read the instructions. You can see, but in npm it's really good. Once you're signed in, it stays for some time before signing out, and you can see there's some really good examples here, and you can see there's some hidden layers 3, and you can see net to train, config, input range, hidden layers. And then we should see that this is create a simple recurrent network. Yeah, recurrent neural network. So you can see a lot of examples. Yeah, And you can also get the same examples if you click on documentation. That will take them to their GitHub documentation. Yeah. And you can just scroll all the way down, and you can see Brain.js is an accelerated GPU are accelerated for neural networks in JavaScript. It's a continuation of the Hatter/Brain, which is not maintained anymore. You can see a lot of things, and you can see a contents page. Then you can see CDN, download, some really good code examples. So I also recommend that. And what you can do is you can come here and you can see that children's book using a recurrent neural network. You can see that this is using the Node.js version. So you can see Jane saw dog, dog saw Jane, but dog and Jane are looking at each other, and you can see at the first slide, so it had a front row seat. It was a very special, and you can see you can optionally edit JS video if you want to play with the code, do some things, right? So what we can do is we can see that what we have to do is you're gonna make a new project. So make the project, and then I can cd into that directory. Okay, they are in children book writer, so we can cd into the children book writer, and then I cd there, and I'm just gonna open it with Visual Studio Code. Okay, so only that opens. There we go. Just opening in Visual Studio Code. Let us see. And remember, we copy the script tag. So if you do not remember, you're gonna test if the script tag works in Visual Studio Code. So just wait. Okay, so yeah, it is loaded up, and then we're gonna just like this. We're just gonna open a new file. And really, let's focus on what we need to focus on. So maybe let's make an index.html. Let that to load. The extensions are taking a bit long to load. That's why it's taking laggy a bit. And then let's make an app.js. Let's make it a bot.js. And because you want it to operate in the HTML, I'm just going to we're going to also make a style.css just to style things, make some styling.
But I also have a question related to this. Like the CSS. Right. It was used to make Minecraft. So like
CSS wasn't made to use Minecraft. Like it's made to style websites, to make some styling, font spacing, and everything. That's good styling. So
okay.
Yeah.
So like I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you code in CSS? Is CSS like JavaScript?
Just a bit like JavaScript. If you're a JavaScript developer, think like CSS, like this star asterisk. You open and close curly braces like a function, but no parentheses. Okay, so like that. And then after that, these functions are like JSON objects. So the inner parts are like JSON objects. And what you can think of is they have some properties, so some props. So you have form, we have something like margin, which controls the margin of the page, and many other properties. So let me just clear the CSS for now. Let's go back into our index.html.
Oh, right. So CSS doesn't use only zeros and ones?
Well, everything in programming is just an simplification. So it makes it easier to read. Because it will have been a pain if you have to manually write zeros and ones. So these just make the easier. So the machine's work is to translate that CSS, that HTML, that JavaScript into zeros and ones and take them across the web. Okay?
Okay.
We take them across the web. So let me just show you. We're gonna do an exclamation mark, which means an element abbreviation, which will bring that resulting type. Just generate some boilerplate code. We are going to call it children book writer. Children book writer. And you can see that we are just going to find. So we're gonna look for every character. We're gonna just see that if I use something like, let's just make a nice website template I'd like to call. So I'd like to call this a website template. So basically just do a header like so, and then in that header you're going to do a nav, and in that nav you're going to use a UL, an ordered list, and then some LIs. So some LIs, and I'm going to call this home, and then you're just gonna, on Visual Studio Code, you're gonna just hold Shift, take the text and hold Alt, and in which direction you want to duplicate it, just 1, 2, 3. I think that should be enough. Contact, I'm gonna call this contact, and projects. You see the standard portfolio interface, so it's going to get that interface, and in this header there'll be a section. So after the header is a section, or what you could have called it is you can use the main tag. So you can use this main tag. So this is the main content of the page. What are you doing?
I'm calculating something.
You should listen to the tutorial. So you can see body of a document, and you can click this for the MDN reference. So Mozilla Firefox provides some documentation for HTML and also CSS. So what you can do is you can see this main element. In there we can put some sections.
Okay, section.
So in that section, you can just drag out an image. So, oopsies. Let me just drag out an image from there. Let me just pull out the image. Let me look for it. Maybe we'll get a bot image, just like bot. Come here to images.
Oh, internet bots.
Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. You can see that there are really some cool icons.
Yeah, right. Really
so we can
cool.
come here to this robot section.
Yeah.
And you can see these good robots.
Look fantastic. I will purchase the fourth one. It looks like I will like.
But what you have to do is come into tools. I'm just gonna make sure the usage drives are made with reuse. So you can reuse it. Wow, look at these. So you can take this picture bay bot, really nice and transparent. So then we can just not save image as, but you can save it. We are going to save the image as, because you're gonna just copy the link address, so the image address, I think so. Let's just paste it. Try pasting it. So if I follow this URL like this, I typed it into a long string. No, I don't want this horrifying line. I just want the link address, because they don't care about the image itself. We're going to check the link address, and we're gonna put it in a nice image tag. So this is gonna look ugly at first, but we're gonna style it up it's going to look like the best thing. So source, and you can see that we can paste some URL in here like so. And once you've pasted that URL, what else? You can make a H1 written children bot reader. Do that. And the most important thing all that time is just under our body element, just under our body element, our everything. Let's just go all the way up and getting started. And remember, this script tag, will need it. So at the bottom, just paste the script tag there. And also your script, you need to link your script. So you use this script, so you can, in Visual Studio Code, you can use this autocomplete format, and you can see /bot.js. You can just say bot.js, and that bot.js, to make sure that it works, just control click, and it will move you to that file. So it works. So if that works, that's fine. So then, what do you think? We're just going to do some basics, so we're not gonna focus much on the head. So you can see we're just gonna bot reader. We're gonna just give some input. We are going to really turn it into something for mobile phones. So just at the end of the session, we'll be able to input or do it for phones. So text, and then you can give it an onChange attribute. One change if you don't want that. So just want an input type, and you can give it an ID of input dash children input, and we're gonna focus this on making it nice and readable and at least legible. So just open it with live server. So you're gonna open it with live server, and it is starting it at 500, and you can see it's saying children book writer, and you can see there's this stuff. Is this import I can put here? You can see that I see. So what we can do is in our style.css and our index.js and all of that stuff, and this is the live server. What we can do with it, it's live reloads. So you're gonna just get it, but you can just say const data import equals document dot get element by ID, and we are just going to call it children input. So once we've gotten it, we can add an event listener. So data import dot add event listener. So dot add event listener. What are we going to listen for? We're going to listen for on change. So we're going to listen for change. So you can see this input has some properties that in our input text you can use on change. So on change, it is a valid input type. So if it doesn't autocomplete for you, don't worry, that's a valid type. So we can add an event listener, not on change. It will take a handler, we can take a parameter which is the event, or alternatively we don't need because if we start typing in, it won't reload. So it will actually document that on change, and we can just get the children input, the data input, the value. So the value inside the value, and we can put it into some training data. So we have a const training data, can put it in an array, and data input dot value. That data input dot value is you're going to set it equal to, so we can just training data, and we're gonna just delete, because we are going to be changing it, and we're gonna just dot, we can just dot add, but we're not gonna add some cache, we just want to add some stuff.
So
train data,
like the stuff,
yeah,
I don't really understand, like the stuff you need to like code the robot.
I say that we are going to use a library called brain.js, and what you're going to do is this is just an array of items. So you have like a box, and you have some things like socks, shoes, some things inside. This is how it looks like in JavaScript, and we can use the .push. We can use the .push method, and we can just push the training data. Like so. So that even if we're going to put our array, and just for a final touch, it's just console.log, we're gonna console.log and the training data, and you should see something like this pop up. So once you have appended, so once you're getting ready, so you're gonna see, let's open our console, and we're gonna start typing with this. And you can see that not longer you open this, it takes you to the okay. So /unpackage.com/brain.js, okay, /brain.js, and that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna make it HTTPS and then a colon, and that should work. So once we make it a HTTPS, it should work, so no problems. And start BGM, enter, and boom, boom, boom. At least you did not have an error about it, so I just use that. It shouldn't error. We added a HTTPS colon, so you can see we just added a // let's try. So maybe what is happening, if you see these kind of errors, don't worry, just use some kind of like other version. So if it doesn't work for you, I have a solution for you, and we're going to use that solution because it is not working for us. It seems that it's not working for us. A good alternative is React. Now, React.html, style.css, and if we really want, if we still get errors, you'll have to wait for a while before you can read your code. So let's just cd dot out of this directory and cd into my React directory. Okay, let's use npx, and make sure you install this with npm I install create react app. So you install create react app globally, so use the -g, and that should work. Okay, so let's run npx create React app. And what you are going to write, you're going to call it children book reader.
Oh, right.
Book reader
So like
is
so like whenever you write a line of code, does it like transfer it to ones and zeros? That's the question I'm trying to understand.
it transforms it into ones and zeros. So this text is just ones and zeros. So what happens is, so this when we are rendering the page, when we are making the page, when the page is loading, it transfers it to zeros and ones, and then it transfers it to normal text, a text that a human can read. So while it's running npx create react app, this again. Okay, so as we're doing that, I can show you an online example. I have something that can save us a lot of times, because it can take a lot of time for those dependencies to show up. So you just go to codesandbox.io, as I'm showing you. Just go to codesandbox.io, and if it still doesn't start, you can use codesandbox.io. If you register it officially, you may have to download the files. So they have some. You can create a sandbox, and when you want to, you can sign up. You can just log in with GitHub. That's how you're wondering it's working. And let's just class, and we can use React TypeScript if we want. You can also use vanilla JavaScript. I don't get to target React because React usually is very easy, but React TypeScript is somewhat hard. So this is React.js. So we're going to use React in JavaScript. That's what npx create react app is going to do. As you can see, it's installing some packages. The fastest try I've ever done is like 300 seconds, which is like 5 minutes. So we can wait for 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to the normal app. So let me just start showing you the syntax. And you can see it's very similar to HTML. As you can see, instead of class, it's class name. Why? Because class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. Class is to create a JavaScript class. So use class name, not class. Now, before I even start creating that, I have to get rid of the styles.css. I'm just going to delete this app class, and I'm going to just use Pascal. Click on make app, and I'm just going to do that. So keep this consistent, and when you want, we can just use this curly brackets. But we don't want this div here. We want to remove the div. So let's just return null for now. We want to show nothing. Just turn null, like so. So this is going to return null from the function, so it should work. So let's just, and time to set the margin to 0, and the padding to 0. So the padding to 0, so it will be absolutely stacked up. And then we want the font family. So the font family dash family, and you can see font dash family, and I'm going to make it sans serif. Sans serif makes it a whole lot better. And then what else? What else am I missing from this? I'm literally missing the box sizing to border box setting. So box sizing, I'm gonna do border box. So the box sizing is equal to border box. So I'm setting the box sizing to border box. And as you can see, this is CSS. So this is CSS, And this is the long install. This is taking a lot of time, linking the dependencies and a lot of things. So that's what takes the longest. So make sure you know that, just to make sure you know that. And this export default function app is the wrong way to go about things. You should be able to like make a cons app like so, because everything else imports exports are ES6. So we should be able to make an app function that will return some JSX. And when we want to use some JSX, we must use React. We must React. So export default app, and that should work. And when I export the default app, meaning these keywords are correct. So we want to export something, we see that it's not happy. Maybe it's now done. So we can just return and open and close curly braces. And what do you want to return? We can return some headers, and we don't need a title. Only in a real app will we need a title, so we can just focus on the body. Or we can use this quick HTML syntax to escape out of the hornets. So this is going to our index.html and go all the way down, and go all the way down to line 45, and we're going to put an exclamation mark. It's much easier to see. Exclamation mark like so, and use the emmet evaluation, and this doc type HTML is just gonna save us a lot of time. So I'm just gonna and I'm just gonna control X this and control it into our app.js. So we're gonna see very quickly how this is going to work. This is going to be very different from what you probably know about syntax. See, it doesn't want the doc type because it already has it covered, because we already know the version. React is just gonna tell the browser automatically which version we're using, latest version of HTML. So I can remove that line away, that one line of code. Let's remove it, and let's tab everything in by one. So let's tab, and here we are. So you can see it's about the same level, but we want to tab in by one again. So let's tab in by one, just for proper alignment. And you can see this HTML has no cross view, and when this causes a problem. So what you want to, it's okay to use doc type HTML, but things that do not have some kind of closing style will give you this error. So you use the slash. This is that it's a say self-closing tag. When you use doc type HTML, you can just add a slash like so, and then you can use the corresponding sequence, doc type HTML. That should work well. But it doesn't accept something like doc type, because it doesn't have it has no prop, it just has a HTML in front of it. React doesn't like that. You don't do that in React. In React, what we do is we use a slash here. So if we want to correct this, we go all the way to the end, all the way, and we're just gonna add a slash like so. Let's make it think like it's working. So our head and our body now here, where is our corresponding, and you can see that it is not working. So we have to control X everything in the head itself, and it will work. So if you can see that So we're just gonna remove that header, and because this is a single line element, you can just remove that slash, and that should sort things out. Let's continue, control back, and we can all we can do is we can just boop like so, and that should work. So everything should work. So as you can see, and let's see if it's done with the process. Not yet. You just try it using that. Okay, so what we can do is we can just continue in that schematic style. So what we do is we just, from the header, we're gonna just copy and paste everything. And you know, everything from there till here, we're just gonna copy and paste. Not Brainjs, we're not gonna copy and paste it. Please, why is it not working? Okay, let's see. So what we need to do is we need to have a header, and that header has slash header, and that in that header we have a nav, and in that nav we have some UL. Let's call it nav slash UL, and in the UL we're gonna have an li from li to li. And you know what? We can just use the Shift Alt notation, just like in Visual Studio Code. So we can use the Alt and duplicate 3 times. You can also write home and contacts and projects. So you can see it's gonna appear this time without the list style. So you can see my image in a new tab, new window. When you can see that it's gonna load and it's gonna say React app. On the default React app, anything home contact without the, there's an install icon. So for some apps it works. With the install icon you can just install an app. So in our nav we also want to call it, we just want to go in our header. From our header we have our main. So in our main, and then we can have some kind of footer, and that footer link with the nav links again. So footer, and you can make it coded in different colors. So you can have this, and we can copy all of this code from nav, and we can make another navigation, and we can just click, and we can just, because this is only sample, we don't have a real home contacts and projects page. If we have enough time, we can make these pages. The idea is to get Brainjs working up, and we can be able to make some pretty interesting machine learning models. So you can see that in our main, we're just gonna open and close this color brackets, and everything is stacked vertically. You know, you hate that feeling. So what you need to do is you can see everything in our nav will be reacting to this. So we'll have something like a H1 out of the UL. So you can see children's book reader, so slash H1 children's book reader. So you can see there's a big H1, and we can say children's book reader, and it updates live. Children's book reader, and this is in the footer, mind you. So it's gonna make it super good. Not reader there. Why is this so slow? Reader, and like this, and like that, and book and reader. And you can see this work. So children's book reader, you just have to change it smaller. So let's change it for smaller elements to error temporarily. Don't worry. Just also change this to H2 and we should be perfect. But H2 is a little bit too big. So I think we should use H6. So we want to use a H6. That's the smallest possible text you can get. It's a H6. The H6, it's very small. It's smaller even than H5 or H4. I'll just show you. Very small text. Let's do 5, 4, 4, heading 4. Let's try heading 4. Heading 2 actually should work. Heading 2 should work. So heading 2 should work anytime now. So heading 2, and that works. So the children's book reader, we're gonna copy this line of code, or the whole thing. We call this line of code. Come on. Okay, we're just gonna control V. We're gonna all the way here in for our nav, in our head, in our nav actually, to be part of our navigation bar. And in that navigation bar, we can just actually select it. So in our nav, we can customize it later in CSS font size, but we're gonna keep it relatively the same. So just building the markup for this. So we're gonna have a main, and we are just gonna come here into our styles.css. So I've selected everything, and we should have make a class, so a CSS class. So we're gonna have a main, and we're gonna give it a class. So we're gonna list nav here. So we can change the display. We're gonna have a class name of nav bar. So of nav dash bar, and see, let's go down. So we'll give a class name. So class name of navbar. So that is a navbar, and we can just customize it to our need in CSS. So .navbar, and that should work. So .navbar, and in our .navbar, what I will be making? Should we be doing in our .navbar? Maybe we can make a display of flex. So display of flex. No, display of flex. So they are both there, and then also we're gonna give a flex direction of row. We're gonna give it a direction of row, so everything is managed in rows. So let me just tab in, and that should work, and we compile. So navbar, they've changed it to row, but that won't work still, because we need to change their positions individually. So we can come into our app.js, and we can give it a class of navbar. And really, we don't need all this markup, but we are going to work with this nav markup. So we're gonna give an ID to these navs. So ID, we're gonna give it an ID of equals to navbar footer, and you can see navbar footer works. So navbar footer, and we're gonna also do it with the same for the header. So all the way up here, as you can see that we're gonna do ID of navbar header, nav dash bar dash header, navbar star dash header, and that navbar header we can control them individually in CSS now. So you can do hashtag navbar header dash header and the footer version. So in the footer version, hashtag navbar footer navbar header. I'm gonna change this to the footer notation and up and click and can now start displaying their position. Now their position is we have to set them relative to their buttons. So relative position, relative. That's a relative position. So have a position relative, and you can click to take a top. So you can take a top of some pixels, so top of -3 pixels. You're going to see what does that. It shrinks it just quite fully. And so we can just change the bottom now, not the top, to like 12 pixels to the bottom. You're gonna see that's gonna get us closer. So use the negative notation again. If there's a principle in CSS that when you want to go down, use the negative instead of the positive. Or else you'll be confused. So gonna put 20, maybe 20 pixels down. Let's put like 100 pixels. Yeah, all the way down there. 200 pixels, maybe 250, 260, 280, okay, 290, 3, and we're gonna give a flex direction of row. Now we're gonna give a class. So again, this UL here, you're gonna give a class name of navlinks. So navlinks, and also gonna go only down here next to our footer. Of course, we're gonna give a class name, which is okay. So the first thing we need to actually modify our code. So let me check. Okay, so let me just okay. So as I was saying, we need to come back and edit our code. So just check. So we needed to give it a name which is equal to navx. So you can give it a class name of navlinks. So you can see go back to our standard CSS. We can give it a dot nav links. You can see we're gonna give it a nav links. Open the conversations, and that should work. So we're also gonna give a header, the header position of relative. Hold on, I fix the problem. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I have looked here. Does anybody have a charger? Okay, so let me just try and slow some tabs. So, this is part one. I have to fix this issue. So, I'm chatting in the chat. So I have some chatting tools in the chat. I'm just gonna, meanwhile, try and work with this. What's happening? Okay, sorry, but that doesn't work. What reload? What? Ah, da 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 da. You can't be kidding me. Computing not working. Okay, I have to actually legitimately. Boop. Okay, so something's going wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Something is going a bit wrong. Yeah.
We need to do Q&A. It's already 1 hour.
Just
Q&A.
go and just continue doing it in your live chat. Yes, and I'm back. So hello. Welcome back. It was kind of a problem, and now we should be okay. So are we okay? Okay. So we lost sandbox, but still have good React stuff. We can just wait for it to roll back. This time on one tab. Let's see. Okay, cancel.sandbox.io. You can see recently templates, recently viewed sandboxes. We're just gonna scroll down after this, and you're just gonna see here. This here is our React project. And sorry about that thing where it was glitching. Don't worry. Okay, so what let's try opening the sandbox. Clicking on it. Yeah. Try clicking on it. So with this so loaded, it has loaded. Okay, so once your project is loaded, you'll see that this is very messy. What you would have done is you would have had a photo component, and you should have had a components folder long time ago. You'll have a component, and we're going to drag this into our source folder like so. So we're gonna drag it into our source folder along with, we're gonna make a new file. We're gonna call it something.js, along that lines. So I'm just gonna plus here. We're gonna call it navbar.js. We'll have to put some navbar.js stuff. When you want to create some JavaScript stuff, we can use navbar.js, and we're gonna open it into our navbar. We can just delete that version, and we can just make an import from React. So import React from React, and that's React const navbar. So const navbar. Okay. So we can just export default. We can export a default navbar. So we can export our navbar function, and that will in turn return props. And this the props dot it will take this. So props, we are gonna take our props dot children. So there's this children parameter. So in our React component, it's gonna return, and this is a popular thing to do. We're gonna use react.fragment of our app /react.fragment. So this is a React fragment. Now what we're gonna do is in there we're just gonna return a navbar. So we are going to this the children, this can just prop the children here, and if we pass it in here, it'll be like just a normal element, but it's custom made. We're gonna make another component like that. and this will be like the what special things have we styled? A navlink. So we can make a navlink.js. And a navlink.js, just drag it into our components folder. We can make import React. So we're gonna React from React. These are major components, so we don't have to do all of that hard work. So we can call it navlink, and it's equal to, and export defaults navlink, like so, and we're going to just there, and we'll take some props, and the props dot link, and under the scenes, behind the scenes, the navlink tag uses an a tag, so we're gonna return an a. Tag, and again, popular to use reactor fragments, putting multiple of these. Again, now once you've done our reactor fragment, we can now use our an a attribute, and that a attribute has the /a again, and here we can now use the href, so href equals to navlink.link, so we can use props.navlink.link, so the link there where we are going to, and then also the props the children, and this will work. So this syntax is commonly used in React. So props.link and props.children, and then we're going to do same for many components that we're going to be using like this. So you can see you can have another component called nav link list, and so in this URL stuff, so under the hood, it uses the dot slash. Okay, yes, so we can just use that. We're gonna come back into our components. You're gonna also use a React import. From React. So we're gonna do some const. We're gonna just edit this to nav link list with a capital nav link list equals to that, and then we should be able to get props. So you're gonna pass in some props like so. Props, and we're gonna also use it as an export defaults. Nav link list. It's gonna be much easier because we have a lot of JS files, and now if props.content, so if props.content, so the children is equal to a string, is equal to we're just gonna make it easier for us to read, so we're gonna just return as well a reactor fragment instead of using the default frag. We're gonna make our own thing, so you can make props the children, So we're just gonna render out the children of it. So this is the easy way to create a custom component, and you can import all of these and replace this hard-coded stuff. So import navlink from dot slash, so dot slash component slash navlink, and so instead of these allies, we're gonna replace them with the navlink. So navlink slash, and because this will require a lot of stuff, props, gonna pass in some things in props. So props.link, props.children, so it uses an a tag behind the scenes. Navlink will also work like so, and we can give a link. So we can give it a link property, and you can use an empty hashtag defaulting, and you can see that it comes with also some styles. So meaning, let's go into our style.css, and in our navlinks navbar footer, navbar footer, we are just gonna apply those classes. So navlinks, we can give it a color of white or black. Black is personally liked black, and if we force it to be black, it won't be black unless we change text decoration to be none. I don't want any text decoration. But if you change it to the text decoration, it doesn't know how to render it. Also, not just an a tag only, because this is a navlink. We have to, in our reactor fragment, we have to return something like an li slash li. In the background uses an li, and in that li we are just gonna paste in our link tag. Okay, so we're gonna give an a, and they're gonna give it a href attribute, and this href attribute is equal to props. You're gonna pass in some props. Dot children dot link. Then we're gonna just use dot slash a, and then we're gonna put props dot children like so. Props dot children. And because like that, it becomes an li. Now we're just gonna replace this with a navbar.js. So we're just gonna replace this with multiple navlinks. So navlinks, use navlink, and these navlinks, give this the best contract ever. Now returns nothing, and we're gonna give it a link which is equal to hashtag, and you can see that marginally that is turning into something that we call good coding. So now bar, not bar, don't want a nav bar, we want a nav link. Nav link. This will turn into a nav link, and we can give it a link. Maybe a link, or we don't need curly brackets. You can just leave the hashtag open. You don't need the closing brackets. We're just practical about that. So we don't need closing brackets. We just made our own custom components, which is easier. So we made our own custom components, which is easier. And we want a navbar. So we want to remove this ID. And soon I want to release something that can revolutionize it. So it's good, and once you've done that, you can just add a new stuff. Now we can just use nav link list. So nav link list, and just use nav link list, and if we add the nav link list, yes, check, it's rendering the children. So, and we also need to give it a class name. So if nav class list, we'll be rendering a UL. So that's UL. We're using a UL in the background, but we're changing it to a good class name. Class name of nav link, specifically designed to you to use in there. As you can see, app strict mode. You can see anything. So what we do here is in our nav link. So nav link list. So our nav link list is something that we can use to link our stuff. So you can use the props of children, and then our nav links, our style.css, and actually make sure when you're giving a class name of nav links, nav link list, all these stuff need to come down from the style.css. But /style.css, actually dot slash. Now we are outside of the folder style.css. Now we import the styling. We cannot find module dot slash css. We are basically going source, so source / style.css. Maybe source is not a dependency, just pointing to you that dot slash. You can see even this index.js appearing, but app you can use app, you can handle app, maybe styles.css, that should be it. There should go. You shouldn't be crying anymore, and that should work. So a nav link list should work. Should see jsx.element, and you can use something like this, react.fc. So fc, and you can see it's just going. So now we can use our React nav link list, everything independently. You can see that sh2. So much of the major components that are going to be repeated, like this nav here, and we can just give a nav.js, and it will render its children, but see what you have to do. So what you have to do with it is here nav, can give it a nav bar instead of a nav, so nav bar instead of a nav. So it's gonna auto import. If not, yes, nav bar. Gonna import nav bar. So import nav bar from dot slash component slash nav bar. So slash nav bar. So that's our nav bar.js. And we're importing a lot of stuff. We're gonna make this, look at this. So we have a lot of things, and you can see nav dash bar. Now we can replace that with our new nav bar, not our old nav bar HTML style. So nav bar, this can be added functionality. It gives more features, so you can free to give it extra styles and actually override it. So we can give it like so. We can just do a nav bar and the slash navbar. So you can see that this is adjacent to each other, and this passage no props, just makes it a navbar. So, navbar. Now that should work. So you can see that it's expecting something. Just X that and reload our browser. That should work. Okay, it's transferring the modules, and you can see that we've created a navbar here without telling it to end, like so. So transpile the modules first, and you can see it's, so we have this, and then we have the nav links. So we have this. Let's transform it into nav links. Nav links, and we're gonna give an LI. These are the same, so we can give it the, we're gonna have a folder called screen components. And our screen components is just going into our source folder, and in our source folder we can have some screen components, and one of our screen components is called navbar. So in navbar.js, mar.js, and this screen component, you're gonna move it to, you can see that it will refer to something. So the screen components is a navbar, so we can give a navbar, and this time we're gonna import React from React, and we're gonna just make sure you edit the name to screen navbar. So you're gonna add the screen prefix and from React. So from React, and then we're also going to do const nav screen navbar. So screen navbar will just be equal to only code we have for the navbar. For one, we're gonna add all of our code because it's the same, so we don't need all of this code. Okay, let's just delete. Let's just get this. Let's get this. Let's just get this into our code like so. It shall return something. This shall return a navbar like so. And this should be an easy fix. Let's do is add the dot slash nav links, and you just have to tab it in by one. Also tab this in, guys, and as you can see that it is erroring for some tokens. It's erroring as in JSX, it's like JSX erroring, so erroring for JSX, and you can see that that's way too indented. Even for these standards, this is way too indented, so we need to make sure that it indents just perfectly, so we are able to use our AI and remove the UL of what its error. The error is the UL, and always a good practice to wrap it in some reactor fragment. So we're going to do this in a reactor fragment. But we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna, now our reactor fragment, everything else is indented one, inside of each other, so everything is going to be fine. You can see that already. Then we're gonna import number, and we can just control that. Quick fix, the code actions available. Okay, so next time you have to import the components. So it's gonna import a navbar. You can see from dot slash from dot slash from dot slash dot slash. So you can see dot slash component slash navbar link navbar. You're also gonna import navbar link list from dot slash component slash navbar nav link list. Nav link list. Links and import what else are we gonna import? We gotta import the nav links, navbar, and what else are we erroring about? What are we erroring about? Yes, we solved everything, but import nav link from dot slash component slash nav link, and then so we can use that nav link.js nav link. So we are also gonna use those. So nav link, and you can see that want this to be flexible, just like any other component. So I'm gonna pass in some props, and you're gonna just I'm going to take this h2, and it's gonna take some font size. We can check here the props dot logo text. And this will also take the number of links. So the number of links. Why do you have to call the number of links? You can just take you're gonna make it const number of links equal to, I'm gonna set it equal to maybe props dot num of links. The plus sign notation, and then you can use the lovely. have link. We have link. Link. And then now on a bar. Now all of these are custom widgets. These are custom thing. So the only thing we're missing is our text widgets. Like this. No. Does it work like that? Let's try. It's meant to be a component. So I'm gonna give a component called text.js. So this text.js has the component, the settings for the text. So const text equal to, not completely the embeddings, text, or let's just set that to be a text, and also I also need to import React from React. Also, we need to come here and return a React component. As you can see, that we have the text. Now all we have to do is return props to children. So when we return the props to children, we're gonna react the fragments, and then we're gonna have having our. So we're gonna use some if statements and if. So we have to look for range function. So you can see that. So here you can see here that. So here you can see that we should be able to loop over everything. So we can make a functions folder. No, you will just make a functions folder. Functions. Now we're gonna take it into our source folder, in our public, in our functions. We're gonna add a new file, and we're gonna make it called. We're gonna make it called Brainjs.js. Range.js. Now range.js will not use React. We just make a default function called range. So called range equals to, for we're gonna use we require the number. They start in the skip. They start in the end, and the skip is optional. Skip. So we skip, and then we can use for let I equals 0, I is less than length, and I by default I plus plus, or if skip is available, skip like so. So now it's gonna return I. So we're gonna return I, like so. I. So we'll be continuing using for the till we can't do it anymore. So then we're gonna use in our components text.js. We'll use the range function like so. How to import from import range. Import the range function from the dot slash function slash range. Then we see start any, end any, skip any. The skip is optional, so we can use skip. Maybe so. No, the skip can be anything, so you can skip by S number. No. So what we're gonna do is you better go into our folder for range, and the range will return you a number. So you can start any, skip any. So you can start with 12 with 1, end with 1, maybe end with 1, and we start with 1, and that's 100. And what do we do? So you can skip by 2, and that should be okay. So what we do is the range function works. So what we do is you can use this to iterate over the text, and in our text.js we actually, so if text component is supposed to, so the text requires a props, and the props font size, so I'm gonna make it a const font size, and there must be a way to change, and we must use a way to change the CSS. So we have to import dot slash, so dot slash styles dot css equals to props dot font size. So props dot font size, and the font size we can change it. So we can just render something with some font size. So we're gonna return. Say what I'm going to do, return, and we can just return that the font size, the proper font size. We can just return a heat one by default, heading 1. Here heading 1 slash h1 with the style equal to font size and that size, and we can use some backticks if we want. Yes, which is way easier than implementing good old font size. So it cannot use backticks. It doesn't want backticks. We're gonna install it in a variable const font size is equal to maybe 2030, but props dot font size, and that should work. So now style equals to font size is equal to $sign with this. No, that won't work unless you're using that system. But you can use the plus operator. But we must have the text setup, so font size, and we have the text setup, style text. Well, we can just pass it in equals to backtext. And using backtext, we can just embed it like so. Font size, easy, and then we can get a font size, and then we can use the style of style text like so, and we can now put it together. Now I think because we have used backtext, it can't work. Don't worry, we're gonna use ordinary string. It's gonna be a lot easier to implement. So we can use font size, and then we can use a comma font size to don't enter space by default. So you're gonna use plus font size. Then we're gonna use a plus, and then we're gonna use that operator. So you're gonna use that operator plus that. And if you use that correctly, we should be able to plug in style text like so, and you can see that we need to put curly brackets. We need to put colors. We put colors, now that should work. You can see to be able to accessible by a screen reader. So any screen reader, you have to use the font size. So we can give a dash font dash size, and you can see that quick fix it, and it was in the production available, and you can see that ASLint is saying that the font size headings also have content that must be. You can see that it's going to be like having font size. So instead of using font size, and you can plug it in like so, font size, and that problem should disappear if I put a semicolon here. Style. Get computed height. Get computed style. Dot. Oh yes. Get computed style on my text element like so, on text, and I also need some. Look at this. And you get the computer style alt element, the alt string. So HTML elements. Oh, HTML text elements. HTML text elements. HTML text elements. Text elements. Oh yeah, for HTML H1 elements. H1. Yes, heading. Yes, I'm coming. I'm live streaming still. So what we do is each. You can see a lot of this HTML element. You can see that it's not working. What if you use text element? You can see div, and if you use the HTML keyword, you can see that we have everything. So we go all the way down. You can see HTML element, HTML. If you use the HTML keyword, you have all of these elements. So let's try searching through all of them. So you can see map, fill, embed elements, font elements, dot. I'm gonna pass in. I'm gonna use the dots. You're gonna use the dots. Font size. Font. Dot font size. Font size. Dot font size. Oh yeah. Dot font size. Font size and set it equal to 30 pixels, 40 pixels, 50 pixels. You know, you're gonna use the PX variant. And you're gonna set it to 30. Because what do you want? We want to get a computer style. Meaning we don't want a style like this. We want to get the computer style, for it and change it to the font size even before rendering. So beforehand rendering, beforehand, then we're gonna do that, and we can use the font element, which it has. The HTML has a font element. I don't know why. Font. The H1 applies. Yes, the H1 will apply. And now all we have to do is print out props.children. We can just remove this from our function, so we don't have to do all this if statement. So we can just remove our remain new directory, delete that. Okay, so we have deleted the function directory, and now this is our screen component. First screen component, the screen number. You know, number of links. Wait, and because when you're using it in React, all we need to do is depend on the number of links. So instead of a H1, you have H1, and then the font size. And have a font size. Okay. Font size equals plus props dot font size. Now this font size, number of links and font size, and we should be able to set it. We're gonna be able to get computed style, and then we're gonna get over HTML for font element. You can use the dot attribute dot. We haven't exported style.css. Import dot slash styles.css. Dot, if you use the dot attribute now, dot font size. So we're gonna set it font size equal to font size like so, and so. Yes. Yeah. I'm live streaming. So props.logo text. can now use the text element. Now the text element from text. The text element is kind of called the text. So text A, let's do text A to tell it that it's now from the streams. Text A and text A. That's text A and this text A should import. So we can just import text A from dot slash style dot css. So this css is what's going to work, and then this css here, you're going to see that they're very good look. So you can see that if I use this like so, it looks very nice. So font size, set it to 30, and then you should be able to have some actual props. So going to return reactive variables, top that logo text, and we should apply the style. We're going to apply the style because see already text A requires a font size. So if we take a text A and we give it the font size, which is equal to what else? Open and close curly brackets, 30. Give it to 30. We can give it to 50. We'll give it to 60. So we can give it to 30, 70, but 70 should work. If I type it boldly like here, 70, now we can give it a font size. So the number of links you want depends on how many these. And then we're gonna have a help us folder, builders, so leave the builders folder. So builders folder and in our source folder, builders, and then our builders we're gonna need list builder, nav link, list builder, nav link, list builder .js. Then we're gonna import React from React. Also we're gonna import, what else are we gonna import? We can just use, you can start right away, nav link list builder equals to an arrow function, and that exports default nav link based builder. What we're gonna do is return. We're gonna return some JSX. So we're gonna return maybe some React.fragment. She's supposed to take the for let I equals 0. I is less than list builder dot length. We'll also take some props. Just props dot nav link list length. So nav link list length. So const nav link list length equals to maybe props dot nav link list length, and then what else? here what we're gonna do is I plus plus on the through, and then we're just gonna run some things. We're gonna return a React fragment. So you can see a lot of components go into this. So we have linked list length, I plus plus. Once you've done some I plus plus, we've done this. Or the shorthand for React fragment is also this. Let me show you. If you want to use a shorthand, yes, this. It is really not unstable by the public. So you can see that I'm implicitly using React fragment. And in this nav link list, we can just link a nav link. Slash nav link. And this nav link will pass in some props. The props are props.link and props.children. So we're gonna take our props.link. So we're gonna use link equals by default. It will use like this. Props.link. Then so you can see that importing a lot of things from now, like num of links, and we should be able to use it instead of nav links. We're gonna replace this with a nav link list builder. So link list builder slash nav link list builder. It's going to take some props and some stuff. So nav link list builder will take the links. So back into our student about.js. We'll take in some links, and this links, it expects it to be an array. So const link. So const link equals props.links. So const links equals props.links. Links. And you can see props.links. Actually it's in the builder. Const links equals to a props.links and const other members equal props.members. And now we want it to be JS. Link contents props link contents like so, and you're gonna use the links of index I like so, and then in our nav link we're also going to do is to provide something like link context of index I. So expect it to be an array passed in, and then we should be done. Our builder, our list builder. Okay, now links, and you can see that if you do now link, so num of links, I want it to be something like 4 or 5 or 6. Let's do 4. 3 actually, default 3, and then we can do link content equals to some sex code. So we take our function. Oh, link content is just an array like so, and link because we have local storage, we'll have our, does this need to change? The links never need to change. Yeah, so we can const. Actually, let's do some more hooks. Some links and set links. Links and we're gonna equal to a use date. So there you go, and then so this use state will be links set links. So links equal to links, and because I've been use import, we're just gonna use the default links. This home contact projects. So it should be an array of home. That's done to show the home directory itself. This is regular expression. That wants that, but we want an array of home and projects. So home, contacts, and projects. Also home, projects, home, contact, projects, and contact. So don't show the directory it is in itself. So I'm gonna track some state. I'm gonna pass this straight using props like so. And what we do here, what we do is what we can do is can make a builder. So these builders, and not there, you not see there. Now we're gonna need an we need the state, so we need to pass this to props again. So see what's happening. So now have some props. We're gonna pass it through props, and it's nav link list builder. We're gonna link. We are going to const link. So we have to go back to our screen nav.js. So you can just use set links, which will be our function that will be calling when I use that goes from this to this page. So and we can add const on click attributes, click, and then it expects a link of functions, and then what else? So on click agent assigned, and clicks. Then what we do is props dot on clicks, and make sure if it's links, and we're gonna use the plus sign just to, or if you can pass it there, we mention it there. So once we mention it, we know it's an array of strings. Then we for link in nav links, for link in links if link in links if type of, so using type of there's a function. So if type of link is equal to integer, so int, or if you go into our dev tools as an experimental, you use how it works. So it's type, if we use, let's make a variable, Chrome dev tools, hello, let hello equals 1. Let's quickly do this, and then type of hello, like so. It says in a string literal, which equals to number, and we can just continue, and if or else if type of, or else if it's not anything else on the number, then we're gonna use the parse int function. The parse int, so the parse int turns it into an int like so. A string converts a string to a number, so we get it the string. So we can give it the link like so, and done. So let's see what predicts this. Yes. So
Okay.
So what I'm saying is Reddit between 2 billion 36 that specifies base number in num string. So base only number. Now we want to use base 10, so we pass in the 10, and the link is not defined. That is why they're not. So for let's link. Let's try let link in links. We use the int syntax working. So there we go. So we have for loop and another for loop, and then we export the for loop. So our nav linked list builder is almost done. So we say the on click. We are just gonna give an on click, and then we can give it an on click. On click. The link hasn't been given an on click attribute, so we can give it a const on click equals props dot on click. So you can use the on click thing, and then you can call the on click. So you can handle that version, because if you call it as a function, you can see that won't work. So you're handling it like so, and then you can give an on clicks equal to on clicks index I. So now Once we are done with this for loop, you can see a lot of for loops here. We're just basically turning the parameters to int and rendering them for rendering. So this nav link list and screen navbar, they all work even if it is not working. So this nav link builder is still, so we can see that we want to actually and that secretly uses on click attribute for an optional on click attribute. That's optional, not required. All these props are optional. Just adding context on nothing. Why me? Why? Link contents, which is an array of contents. So we can say home, projects, and contacts, all of index I. So you can use link context first. Link contents is equal to array.
What's the name of the
Mama. So, as I was saying, this link contents is going to be this link contents is going to be the contents of the link. So open and close, home, projects, contacts. And if you wonder what we are using a library called React. So it was developed by Facebook. So React is developed by Facebook, and it's made it much more easier to develop apps like this. You know, for if you can't, you have to use you had to make a state of your own in JavaScript. You have to write to the DOM, and you just want to render it as JSX. Which is better than, because you'll have to put string h1, code it manually, and there's better auto completion with this, because string it can't just know what a h1 is just by telling it it's a string. To just won't work. So you have to. So this is better. It's a solution. It's a better solution, and so we pass links, and we need the links. So you're gonna loop all of them in that function, and then this is just the bit part. This is all the logic, and all the props, all the data switching, and everything. So I think if we reload ourselves, we should have the exact same results. Maybe it's just because, let's go to our app.js, and you can see that we have the exact same copy. Now if we make a navbar screen, okay, if we make a screen navbar, so screen navbar, you can see that if we do screen navbar, that's screen navbar, and you can just use this to screw it up. And then once you've done that, we should be able to import. No need all of these. We just need to import we'll say the navbar list, the screen navbar, from slash, and you can see that all these have now dot slash screen component slash what slash. So if you can see, if you try and import it, you can see that dot slash screen component slash screen navbar, and you can see there's our component imported. So if we run this, looking for it, but it's actually only a dot slash right away. So we must have to resolve the modules. We must have to resolve it. So let's try, and try semicolon capping it. Maybe this stuff, and make sure this Mijabi. We never exported it. That's why. Export default screen navbar, and boom, all that line, and you're done. What we can do, add the JS, we need to import this guy. So we need to import. So import screen navbar from dot slash screen component slash the slash and slash screen navbar, and we can add the .js extension if we can't find it. Okay, so if I add a good builder, if I was a good builder, what have I done? Will this import work? Export default. I added the export. Let me see if I noted it as a function. Yes, noted, it's a function. Maybe if I call it, maybe. Now, if I call it, nothing happens differently. Meaning that we need to go to app.js, and anyways, let me just go to GitHub, and let me just link the GitHub here. So let's try. Let me just authorize. And confirm, and okay, so once you're done, it should bring a message. Okay, so you're signed in, and we should be able to call it, let me call it something. I'm gonna call it Brainjs app. Okay, so this screen navbar is what it's not working. So going to see so you just close this for now, and you can see that the font size is equal to empty string. Maybe we want a font size. So you see that's the font size, and now that should work. So if I reload, yes, it's live. Import screen navbar from the slash screen component slash, let's see, so thank you for watching. Let's continue. I'll leave a link in the description to this. Yeah, link in the description. The next time to so go and so you can see that there's some settings. Just save this and okay, so what we do is this screen navbar is from screen navbar now this is from screen navbar, and also so it's going up, and so let's try now. Let's try coming to back into our app.js, and there's nothing. And do give it screen navbar.js, and you saw what I did there. So, and now actually share this. So now you can just join and have a live coding. Yeah. So apart from that, let's continue, and you can see we are using the React state here, the project, the contact, the get computed style. You can see all of this is React code, and this here highlights how we render our stuff. So we can render this, and we can give it some props. Remember, okay, it takes a lot of props. So the number of links, the font size, the number of links, and the font size. So number of links, and we'll also take the const links. Now on click, you're going to pass in states. So it takes click, link context, and we take link contents, and then on click equals to calibrate, and which happens when on clicked. Now these will be array of functions, so we'll have an array like so, and then we're gonna have a comma again. Yeah? Yes. Yes.
Are you done?
No. Problem of starting in the afternoon. So we can create a bunch of functions. So we can see the functions. So we can have an array. On clicks, just be an array like so, and it will have a function like so. So body of functions that will fire once we actually call them. So, and then we should have them right over here. We have to make the functions. And then you have to go to a file folder. Then we have some functions. And these functions will do what they do. So we'll call them, instead of functions, I'm gonna give them handler functions. See, the handler functions, I'm just gonna drag into the source folder, and drag it in there, drag it in there. In the handler functions, we can just create a new handler function, and we can say on the click, so on click.js. So when we on click, we are also going to import state from React. That's a React hook. So const on click is not a React component. So let's stop joking. Let's go back to Pascal. So once you use that, we're going to use const. We can need the links. So link and set links. Okay, now through props, and you can see you can now use set states, and you can see you can call the set links function like that, and we'll take the set links as a function. Now we don't have an understanding of even React. Set links will take the previous links, and then what we do is we have links copy. We're able to copy the array, and then dot. So you can see that we have the links, and then plus plus the new link. So we're gonna take that link and set it equal to now an array equal to the previous link, the pop, and also we need a page that we are on, and the set page function. And then we also need to set our page up. So as we set our page, this is a function. We'll take the previous page. Don't take any parameters. We'll just set the page to page equal to home, removing anything that contains home. Set page, and then we have files. We're gonna page, set page. We'll take the page, so don't need anything here, none, like so, none, like so. We're gonna just set it to we're gonna set the page to page equals let's remove the previous page. So the previous page, and remove the previous page because you don't need to see it. So we're just gonna page.remove. We're gonna use the prev page, so the prev page dot remove, and make sure you use the prev page dot remove function. Remove, because this is a use state. What we need to remove, so dot pop and dot remove the prep page. We're gonna remove the prep page from the array, and set links is remove is going to be set links, and we need the prev links. We need to do something with the previous links, and we need the previous links dot remove the last page that it was. So we're removing the array, so we're removing every index. Now surely let's check in our system. We got separate place for data, so you can see down to share it on clicks, home, projects, contacts. I think it's home, contact projects, and then we can have a data folder, so where we keep all our data. So in here, let's create a new folder called data, and then we have link contents. Voila, now public list no source folder all the way down like so. Is Control Z the actions? No, that doesn't work like that. For a directory, let's see. We can get out of this slot directory. Slot. Very complicated. Our directories are becoming too complex. Just move the entire source folder outside of that. So like so, till we see nothing, not even a single byte. Just move the source folder over there. So you can see that. Let's close the source folder and move it as one. So move all the folders, drag and hold this bad boy and hope that we can scroll all the way down. So it's just there we go. And there you go. So we have our source folder back. And you can see our data. We need to make a new JSON file. So we need the link contents.json, link contents.json, link contents.json. So link contents.json. So contents.json. On the link contents.json, we're gonna make an empty curly, and then we're gonna just do that. So link contents.json and all our app.js data, all this data here in our that is not in our screen navbar link content. This is not what it's supposed to be. So we can have some screen components. Data is in each screen component. Now in our data we have link contents.json. Because it's just remove link contents.json, and let's add a new directory called screen navbar. Screen navbar JSON. So JSON, and then we have two more files in there. So link contents, which is the first one, link contents .json. So we have this, and then we have this here and done. Then we can have this schema. We just want that and that and that. What we want is our link contents. So we can try making here to assign a property. So link content 1. But you can see we can have a body. So a body, and then inside our body we'll have a link content equals to like this. In the import code, like so, import, then we'll have an O here. So import, so all our data transferred through this JSON medium. So all through this JSON medium. So this JSON medium creation transition data, and this JSON is from all the way from screen navbar. We're just gonna copy and paste this. So cut, and we don't need this anymore. And go back to JSON. So we have that, and then we have that, and that should work. So we have link contents, then we are going to have at the top directory data, and then here we're gonna make a new file, data.json, and then this link content will be built in everything here. And we have on clicks should be an array of functions that will be executed. So an array of functions in stringified form. So a series of functions. So we're basically on our link contents.json. This is all we're having, link content and stuff. And then we can make a status in our body. Like we can make a status, and then we're gonna have an okay. Meaning our status is 200, and then our status is okay, and then JSON. What else is? We'll be storing this data in a JSON file, the local storage, meaning that app.js screen navbar needs to come back. We have all quickly just all data that is in green, we will turn it into JSON. All data that you can turn to JSON, primitive data types. All primitive data types. We'll click the link, set link, page, set page. No, there's a page here, meaning that page so actually and so that will take that screen bar. Then we'll have another JSON file called global data.json, and all empty object like so, and we're gonna call it okay 200 warning. This warning mean this is a lot of data. So this a lot of data, and then we tell them the data, click.
Spending time here in the house for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes is enough. Huh. Anyways.
Yeah, only for 30 minutes.
Anyways. We can doubt this may be a lot of functions. So for the second and for the printed in stringified form. So then our stringified form, cordial, you know, and cordial, and all of that stuff. So this has to be a code font like so.
Remember, I showed you that. Remember, at 12 times 12, 184.
And so this should work. So we get that, and then after that, and then number out.
Mom, remember that video I showed you that morning? Mom, remember that video I showed you that in the morning?
And then this equals to a function, and then in syntax, we're going to do some syntax here. There's some syntax, and we should be able to do this if I'm able to. Let's Control T. We want to format this, so we want to format this. Let's toggle a minimap. We have the code there, and then so what you do is we actually have these arrow functions that are empty. Now these means that there can be 3 of them, or 3 on clicks, and this data is directly translated to a function. So it's the bare bones, and then we also have so as you can see, there's a font size, prop, and everything. So you can call font size. So what should that mean? That's our own clicks. So we meant our own clicks, and then not any data, because it should be here, and then it should have a font size, maybe a record of all font sizes. So font size equals to font size. Example is 48 by default, and then we should always have what else? We have by.js. Link, set link, number of links, like so. Number of links is 4. As you can see, the screen still appears blank because there's some 6 problems. You can see here that non-verse, and you can see that we click here, and no problem because it was deleted from this. Expected. Progress page, private page, 1 and let's see what's happening from the React Dev Tools. Nothing is happening in the React Dev Tools. Okay, we have 5 problems. Number 1, they're saying like links, set links, set links, quick. So set links, set links, and you know what the error is equal to that. And if you use that now, it's export default on click. on click. So all of them have an on click of. Can come here into our JSON, and there's some data. Let me see. So now this is a lot of data. We have gotten some data in this data directory, and this JSON data and this global data. Now we can have an on-click handler like in strings. So on-click handler, and they can some anything that they want to display, they can display it like so, and the same. And so once you're done with that global data JSON, you're going to just get all of this data and paste it into our data.json. Blocks. Of data. Then give a status code. Status code 200. Let's go 200. We have some pasted data. So we'll have data like so. It will be an object like so. And this data will be called screen number data. And then can have something called header data. Header data. And data and once we're done, okay, so done. We have body data. So once you're done, here is our data. You can see here is our navbar stuff, and let's go back into app.js, and then the main and the footer. In our header we'll have a screen navbar, and in our footer we'll also have another one, screen navbar, like so, / this. Okay, on click. And So what you can do is screen navbar. So what do we want to import? We want to import just gonna import slash station slash data.json. It's better usually slash screen about JSON. Then yes. But part two never comes on these live streams. We'll never watch part two of my live stream. Okay. Okay. Global data. And also yes. So just adding additionals. Okay. So done. That import. And
ready to see.
Okay, on click of eye like so. Like so, and then okay, so once we are done with all of these screen components multiple times, we're done with our app. So let's see how to actually deploy the app. So you can see you can actually deploy it to Netlify. You can just hit the button on sandbox and yeah, done. So do it. So see you later. Bye bye.